So these days people might get in touch with you via text message, email, or they might give you a ring asking you for a quote. The best thing to do is always to meet the customer in person, look at the property that you're dealing with to do a quotation. A number of times I've had people coming to me from across the road saying, my house is the same as the house you're cleaning now, can you do mine for the same price? So never agree to a price unless you've seen the job and you know exactly what's involved, because even in that situation I'll go across the road and I'll see that the house has got, you know, a couple of extra windows on the side that this house didn't have. So you always want to look at a job before you agree the price. So over the years I think I've got certain things you like to talk about with the customer, certain things you like to say, and really like to meet with a customer. It's not groundbreaking to say that you need to get to the decision maker and you need to deal with the decision maker. So in a domestic situation, that's usually the homeowner, and that's a really great way to secure a job, is to meet homeowners and to agree to do work on domestic properties like that. When it comes to commercial work, sometimes you meet people and can be much more difficult to get to the decision maker. Usually someone's arranging the work and then they'll put forward the quotations to the decision maker. So then it can become more of a numbers game perhaps. But even then, the person that you're dealing with, you want to make a good impression, you want to be accommodating, and you want them to be able to convey that back to the decision maker. Hopefully that will help influence the quote and whether they go with your quote for the job. So anyway, mostly I deal with domestic customers. Always look around the exterior of the property, check that the windows are easy to access. You can offer to do that for the customer, or they might offer to take you round the property. So listen to them and go with whatever they suggest. You want to be accommodating to the way they want to do things. Take an interest in the customer. If they've got a nice garden, if they've recently moved into their property, maybe they've had a problem with their previous window cleaner and that's why they've got in touch with you. So try and take an interest in their situation and why they've got in touch with you. Find out as much information as you can. You don't want to be too over the top, too friendly, too cheesy salesman, but you want to establish a relationship with that customer. You want the customer to feel like you're going to look after their property as if it was your own home. That would be good. What I usually ask is, have you had a window cleaner previously? And you might find they are disgruntled with their previous window cleaner for some reason, or the last window cleaner didn't turn up for such a long time and they've never come back, something like that. So you might be able to address the problems that they have. So once you've had a look around the property, what I like to do, so I'll have a quotation in my mind of what I want to quote for the job usually, and I will ask the customer, before I say my price, I'll usually say, oh, I don't know how much your last window cleaner was charging, and I'll leave a long pause. Now I leave a long pause and 9 times out of 10 they might come straight out with the price that the previous window cleaner was charging. This helps because I can either say, oh well, I was going to charge a lot more than that. Now if the previous window cleaner hasn't come back for a long time, that might be the reason why, because the job wasn't worth their while and they couldn't be bothered to do the job because it was so cheap. So in that case you can say to the customer, well, I was going to charge this much more at this price because I like to do a thorough job and I like to make a good job of wiping the sills, that kind of thing, whatever the case may be. So I always stick to my price. My price is my price. Now it might be that they weren't happy with the previous window cleaner because, let's say, they were water-fed pole. Now you might be quoting to do it by traditional method, in which case you can say the price is a bit more because I do it the traditional way and I'm doing things by hand. Or you might be able to say, well, if you weren't happy with the previous window cleaner and they were doing it the water-fed pole method, I do it the water-fed pole method, but I carry it out in a proper way and I make sure I do a thorough job. So either way, what we're doing here is we're establishing this good relationship with the customer, making sure they realise that we're going to do a quality job, so they're going to get what they pay for. So you want to establish that straight away. And then other things I want to also establish with the customer will be how often they want it cleaned. So make sure you're on the same page there. You want to know how they're going to pay you, so discuss that with the customer as well. The preferred methods that you like to be paid. So you want to establish this long-term relationship, so hopefully they'll use your cleaning service for a long period of time on a regular basis. You're potentially going to see that customer on a regular basis if you're going there month after month. I did a quote recently, and quite a big house really. It was 3 stories, and I said to the lady, well, I don't know how much your last window cleaner charged, and it turned out that the last window cleaner charged £15. Well, I looked at it and I was thinking it's worth at least £25. So I said to her, well, I was thinking £25, and she said that was a lot more than the last window cleaner, but it turned out that the last window cleaner wasn't very good. So I said to her that I like to think you get what you pay for. I do a quality job, and I make an effort to wash the frames and the sills, that kind of thing. I was planning to do it using water-fed pole, and the previous window cleaner had been water-fed pole as well. But she said she wasn't very happy with him. It turned out in the end that she was on quite a tight budget. So I suggested to her, rather than reducing my price, rather than having it cleaned every month, why not have it cleaned every 2 months? So in fact, across a 2-month period, she'd be saving herself £5. So I was really pleased because I was able to accommodate that customer without compromising on my price. So that's what I like to try and do really. It just allows for being able to accommodate customers' requirements sometimes. So she was happy with that, and she's really happy with the quality job that we're doing. So that was really good. So it's really great if you can accommodate customers in that way without compromising on the way that you want to work. So yeah, most of the time I find that people are willing to at least try the service. So I hope that helps you with some of your quotations, and I hope you have a good summer cleaning whatever exterior cleaning you do. And you can check out my channel. There's loads more about how I run my business, how I organise some of my work. Check out the Business Approach playlist on the playlists, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.